What up? I'm sure you're wondering why I'm in your face. Well, welcome to the very first episode of Let's Converse. So I hear at workplace, and then you still hear in church, you hear people say things like, I'm talking of the male folks now, you hear them say things like, I can't marry a strong lady. No, don't do that. Well, it's true. I hear them say I can't marry a strong lady, and I'm wondering why. Well, I have my own perspectives to that, right? But I thought, you know what? Maybe I should hear from other women and other men. Let's see whether I'm not weird, right? So let's go with you first. I saw your.
Well, maybe because so for most of my adult life, which has been very brief, I heard stuff like, you're going to get married soon.
Oh,
You have to stop. Like someone I really respect literally told me you are at the gate of marriage. So you have to stop. Then what was the issue, Seth? I think it was mint green meals. Really long, just completely mint green. At the gate of marriage, and then my hair was magenta.
wow.
You're at the gate of marriage, so you have to stop these things. And so I've heard that for most of my life, such that it doesn't count for me, then I don't care. So I had that look like, because most people that are saying I can't marry a strong lady, they don't even know who a strong lady is. Even if a strong lady came and smacked them in the face, they wouldn't know she was a strong lady. Because the question is, what's the definition
Of a strong lady.
Before you tell me you can marry her or you can't marry her. So, I have a lot of thoughts, but let me not hug the conversation.
No, so from what you're saying, apparently you were being termed as a strong lady because you were very bold with your
With
nails.
everything, my speech.
This is another definition I've heard of. Oh wow. Okay, so hi bro. Please help us with the definition of the strong lady before we start.
So, I think what people term strong lady is, as I've told someone before, I'll first of all come from the Christian perspective.
Okay.
Then I'll look at it from the secular perspective. The secular people will say these people are forthcoming, they are outspoken, right? They step into a room and they make their mark, right? From a Christian perspective, which I believe, I just see the woman as being productive. She's doing what God has actually created, not just a woman. So I think when I was having the conversation with someone as regards this, I now said, what if a man that is doing these things? What do you think is a strong man?
He's a regular guy.
He's just been a
He's
guy.
just been a guy.
So I for one, I don't even, so this is the thing, this is my own perspective personally. I don't have this idea of there is a strong woman and there's a weak woman. If I see a woman doing certain things, I call her productive.
So a woman who is
I call her God's own because she's doing certain things that God will expect a woman to do. That's my
deep.
Deep stuff.
Yeah, deep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you sound like you appreciate those kind of women, right?
Definitely. I have one. My sister is a strong. Okay, sorry. In terms of
No, it's fine.
using
it's
that
fine.
term exactly.
So that people understand what we're
For
talking
example,
about.
I see her as productive. She has done things that even I as a guy would I have taken these steps. Look at someone that studies agric for 5 years, finishes the first class, and then moves straight into tech. Is now a full-fledged front-end developer in 1 year.
Wow.
All the jobs she had gotten first, before she even got the recent Nigerian job, were international jobs. Right? anytime I tell her that see, I am proud of you and you are productive. So anybody that come and tell me because she's like this, I'm intimidated. Bro,
Look for your
Well,
wife
Kenny,
elsewhere.
nice day.
Serious nice day, man. Honestly.
again, I appreciate it. I see it, acknowledge it. I drive it.
You drive it. Okay, so one
So-
more question. Why do you drive it?
Because I see
Because
it
it's
as,
very-
so
sorry.
I see it as you being representing. That's what, so the thing is, I don't, for most of things about life, I hate to, let's say, to celebrate. Say, woman is meant for this, men are meant for this. You know, I think that narrative for especially, of course, we know there are some aspects of Christian life, Christian belief that men are supposed to be this in terms of head of the family.
Yeah, that's a position.
There are some kind of positions that we will not agree with, but then there are some certain things that men particularly now bring in because of
Culture, their own
beliefs and then now puts it as a general norm, which is not true, which is not biblical. I usually come from that perspective. A woman is doing certain things, she's being productive. God did not create you to be. That's the you should, I mean, if you are saying you have the spirit, there are supposed to be exception. No better man, woman, exceptional. Especially if you're not in your field, you're doing anything, exceptional. So if I see a woman doing certain things, I'm wow. If I see a man doing certain things too, I'm wow. The same way. I'm not celebrating that because this is a woman, then she cannot do these things. I don't think.
Do you think though that that's because I've met men that have this perspective,
Yeah.
but then I noticed that perspective to women generally sort of shifts when it comes to their woman.
How do you mean?
So I love a woman who is out there, who's a cool getter, who just. But then, and I say I love it. So when I want to settle down, I
With that-
attract that kind of woman. But then now that she's my woman, I have issues with it. I can't come out boldly say I have issues with this.
But it's obvious
it's
from
your
the
actions
way
that
that you
are
are.
sabotaging
Well,
her.
where I would come in with that, I was waiting for something that would lead to this statement or this contribution. Now, in the modern world, they call strong women alpha females.
Yeah.
That's the word. That's the term. The term alpha females. Being an alpha female is not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing, like you said. They are productive women, they are strong women. You know, they have this equality mindset. Like if a man can do it, I can do it as well. But as regards a man marrying a woman that is like that, and then he has an issue with it, the woman needs to learn the act of being feminine. It's a good thing to be an alpha female, but there is a space to tone that masculinity down a bit. If a man has issues with that, if you look deep, you'll find out that she's probably putting that energy in issues or maybe circumstances or situations where she's supposed to tone down a bit. I know I've had experiences where not me, but I've read.
I'll say something to that.
Okay.
I've read like femininity in the sense of
Exactly.
in the sense of okay, God has helped me. I used to be like that. I used to be very let me use a very realistic example. If I want to step into maybe a restaurant or something, I'll open the door myself. You don't open the door for me. What's your issue? Why are you helping me? You know,
Am I
my
handicapped?
hands. You get me? Like, it just gives me that I'm doing something myself. But he said, most people, you have to calm down, mother. Just calm down a little bit. Let someone help you. It doesn't mean you're less of a woman. You're not less powerful. Just relax a little bit. You know when I wouldn't want to make it too spiritual because different audiences are going to listen to this. So I want a balanced mindset. Like what happened to, like they keep tagging with Eve when Eve messed up. Women were seen a certain way. Like, oh, because of a woman, the whole world scattered, blah, blah. How I see it is this. It's a good thing for a woman to stand up for herself. It's a good thing for a woman to, you know, take up positions of power. But there is a space for you to be less in a man's face as regards, you know, I'm here and you're here as well. There's a time for you to relax and let him be a king. Be the queen. Like I love Esther. That was her power. She was a woman. She won being a woman. She didn't come up with the whole attack and let's go to war, blah, blah, blah. She used her feminine powers to brought the entire issue down. So if a man has issues with a woman having issues with her, with her being herself, now that they are married, if you look deep, he's dealing with is an ego thing. He's not having, she's not okay with the way she's handling some certain things. It doesn't mean she's no longer a strong woman. Maybe she hasn't toned down on some level that makes him feel like a man.
Okay, so can I ask you a question?
No,
Now they want to call upon me. They want to sit upon my head.
So let me say this, and I think we had a conversation similar to that earlier today. It's easy for you to admire somebody who is doing great stuff.
Yeah.
But when it's a little closer
Close to
to
home.
Yes.
there's a little so there's nothing wrong with, so I think what Aramide is saying is not because she has not toned down her femininity.
Yes.
Okay.
It's because the man is okay with another woman conquering
He's
the
not
world.
living with that woman.
He's not living with that
Touch and
woman.
go.
He likes the,
Do you understand?
he likes the idea of it.
Of, oh, you're
Of course, who
a
doesn't
woman,
like a beautiful
you're killing,
thing?
you know, you're doing well.
Yeah.
However, if I'm married to you, thus far can you go? I know
That your
far.
personal
That's what,
specifications
with what
of
she's
my-
saying,
of my-
that's why I said there must be, they have to hey, English. Certain things will not happen.
So now,
Don't worry.
I understand your point. However, let's also
Let it play like that.
What I feel is there's something that will happen that would have made the man feel uncomfortable with her powers, being strong and all of that. It's okay admiring from power when it's close. This is how far you can go. If you can communicate, communication. If all of these factors are communicated effectively, well, men are vulnerable as well if they want to be. You can have that. I don't know how to put it in words, but you can have that vibe with him where it doesn't stop you from being a man with me. You get what I'm trying to say? Know who you marry,
Okay.
Sha. It doesn't stop you from being a man with me.
So let
I can still be me.
let me break this down to you, right? So a guy is okay with, you know, he probably has female colleagues that are killing it and doing well.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I want my wife to be this, I want my wife to be that. And then you now marry her. And then she's not all of that, and you now start to feel threatened.
It's with him.
Because
Not her.
God bless you, that's what I just
It's
wanted.
not her. So that's why you communicate.
So which is why I
Well.
said that, you know, it's not so much about how you feel, but what you do with it. So I was telling her today that jealousy is a normal human reaction.
Okay.
Obichi, when you sing, you can easily intimidate any other singer.
Mhm.
Okay.
Do you understand? However, I can now say, okay, Obichi has something. Let me learn from her.
Mhm.
Or I start beefing myself. What's wrong with that? I want this too much.
Yeah.
Are you the only one that can sing in this life?
It is
Are you
something like
see the
a
difference?
Yeah.
Yes, you see the difference.
Yeah.
No, but
There are
for
two
real.
perspectives.
Yes. So it's not one emotion, same emotion, two different reactions.
Yeah.
I cannot-
The first emotion is, oh my God, she's really good. Wow, I'm intimidated. However, this is somebody I can learn from.
It means there's more.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Or what's our own self?
That's why I use the example of marriage. You know, we're not married now. Do you get? This is different. If we're married, you would communicate how you feel to me, like, oh,
No,
Marriage is fun.
Wait, no. You're not assuming that the man
is.
is being reasonable.
So
Exactly.
I know that there are men that didn't have reasonability.
even a man that is reasonable on a normal day,
Yes.
these things play out. and
Yes.
he's unreasonable. So
And
here's
you
the
will
reason.
see
Sometimes
men
they don't
sabotaging
know.
their wives.
No, here's the
Yeah.
reason, right?
Yeah.
Outside the fact that there's the ego thing.
Yeah.
When I'm going to use the office example you used, you have colleagues at work that are go-getters and it excites you. You want that kind of woman. But when you're married to that kind of woman, there are implications that her being ambitious and a go-getter has on your marriage,
True.
on your relationship with her, on her relationship with your kids. All these implications are prices that you have to pay by being associated to her.
Yes.
So that also comes into fact. For instance, you're talking about her singing. Though it changes the whole, I can learn from her or I can beef her. Dynamics change a bit if you have a music director who always compares.
Mhm.
So it's no longer the same. There's now an implication. Her being good is now
Is now
rubbing
a
you
threat
the-
to you.
exactly.
Well,
So
yeah, you don't.
no, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you, but I think my question usually for that person who has a music director that makes it look like that starts to compare. So for every place she goes to or he goes to and the person is being compared, what happens?
For every place who goes to,
Yeah, I'm
the music
saying-
director or the other singer.
No, the other singer. So if that second perspective, which is what's your problem? Why are you doing
Were you
like this?
compared as
Because
a kid?
many times.
Great. I
Very
was. That's why I
well.
asked. And the truth is, even when you form So I had two perspectives. At some point, I was like, this babe, I didn't like my immediate older sister. I could not stand her because she was Miss Goody Two Shoes, literally.
Hey, I'm sure you enjoyed that episode, and don't forget to share with your friends and families, and do subscribe, like, share with your family and friends, and don't forget, trust me, it's more blessed to give than to receive.